Dear students, welcome to you. Today, inshallah, we're going to start with the second chapter, the hormonal coordination, and also we need to get more information about the hormones of animals and some information about hormones of plants. Let's go down in our lesson today. The endocrine system. The endocrine system inside our body, it is a system that controls some of the external and internal organs inside our body. Like what? Like the homeostasis. When an external factor that affects our body, like sweating or increasing or decreasing in the blood pressure, that causes that the body starts to adapt with the external environment. In our lesson today, we need to know and to study the meaning of endocrine system and the meaning of endocrine glands that secrete the secretion of that they are secreted inside and directly in the bloodstream. We have many types and different of hormones. Like what? Like testosterone hormone, like insulin, like growth hormone, like epinephrine, or which is adrenaline. We're going to change this name. Okay, and after that we need to know the meaning of gland cell and the meaning of target cell. That each gland cell, it secretes the secretion or hormone to target a specific organ, which is called, yes, from the last previous revision, which is called the target cell. Okay, let's start of meaning of hormones and some information about the discovering of animal hormones, and also we need to get some information on the plant hormones or auxins. All body functions are under nervous and hormonal control. And also the endocrine glands, we consider them as a ductless glands, or there is no duct connected to the endocrine gland. They secrete the secretion, and this secretion is called hormone. This secretion is directly poured in the bloodstream, and also any increase or decrease in the secreted amount of the hormone that causes, which is disorder, and it may cause diseases. Sometimes it has pathological effects and sometimes not. The function and results in pathological changes and symptoms characteristic for this hormone. After that, we need to know the meaning of hormones and how they are discovered. Hormones, they are a chemical substance that's synthesized and secreted by an endocrine gland, and also they transported by the blood to another organ, which is called a target cell, to affect on it, where it affects the function and the growth of this organ. Yet also most of the effects of hormones are in the form of stimulation of the other gland or other organs. After that, we need to know how they discover the animal hormones. Well, the first scientist that we have, which is Claude Bernard. Claude Bernard, what did he do to discover the animal hormones? Actually, by his studying on the liver, he studied the liver function in 1855, and he considered that the stored sugar in the liver as an internal secretion, while the bile juice as an external secretion. On the other hand, we have another scientist, which is Starling. Starling in 1905, he found that the pancreas starts to secrete the pancreatic juice directly after the arrival of food to the duodenum. Whatever we're going to cut, the nerve supply was cut. And let me to show something here. What does it mean, duodenum? We have a picture here to show the meaning of duodenum. This is the duodenum, and Starling considered that pancreas start to secrete the pancreatic juice directly after the arrival of food to the duodenum if we're going to cut the nerve supply to it. And by the way, duodenum is the first part that follows the stomach. And for your information, the small intestine consists of 3 parts, okay? The smallest part, which is duodenum, okay, which is directly connected to the stomach. And after that, he concluded that there must be a non-nervous stimulation that as a result of cutting the nerve supply. He concluded, as we said, that there must be a non-nervous stimulation. And what else he concluded? He concluded and discovered the presence of certain chemical substances secreted from the mucous membrane. The mucous membrane that line the duodenum, which pass to the blood to stimulate the pancreas to secrete pancreatic juice to help in digestion of food. Actually, the meaning of hormones, it comes from a Greek word which means activator. Which means what? Yes, activator. After that, we need to know some information about the hormones in plants. Well, let's start with the first scientist that we have, which is Jensen. Hormones in plants. Jensen in 1913, he explained the phototropism of growing point in view of auxins, which is called plant hormones. Let me to remind you the meaning of phototropism. You know that most of plants, they need the 3 different criteria for growing: light energy, okay, and they need carbon dioxide and water and salts from the soil. And by an experiment, when we're going to deprive the plant from the light, it will wilt and dies. But in our experiment, to learn more about and to show the meaning of phototropism, we're going to what? We're going to cover the plant, okay, and we give the plant only the light from a specific direction, okay? So we have here germinated seed. They are our tiny plant covered with a box, and this box has only direction or one direction of the light. After that, the computer connected with the camera, which takes a photo every second to show the behavior of the plant under effect of the light. After several hours, or maybe after 1 day, we left the plant in this situation, in these circumstances. What happened? Let's know what happened to the plant or the germinated seed. Okay, did you observe that? What happened to the germinated seed? The plant directly grows in the direction of the light. This is the meaning of phototropism. Okay, so here this is that show that the plant wants light to make a photosynthesis process and also to grow more and more. So he explained phototropism as we show that in movie, that growing point in view of auxins. Okay, well, and auxins, we studied them in the last chapter. You know, they are just a plant hormones, or they act as a plant hormone because the plants cannot secrete hormones such as our body. And he also proved that the connection between receptor and the region of curvature that happens as a result of auxins, such as what? One of the most important one, which is indole acetic acid. Again, it's called what? Indole acetic acid. Actually, these names are very important, okay, for your exam. Indole acetic acid. Remember this name one. And what else? The plants have no special glands to secrete hormones. Okay, so instead of secreting hormones, it secretes what? Something called auxins, which controls the growing tips and control the phototropism and geotropism, and if you remember the tendril, okay, that twists and twists around the support as a result of presence of auxins increasing and decreasing on the other side. They are secreted, the auxin, by the tip of the coleoptils and also the buds, terminal and lateral buds, and affect on the other parts of the plant. But what is the importance of the auxins for the plant? Importance of the auxins for the plant. Well, it has a several importance, but we can summarize them in 4 importance about the auxins. The first one, to regulate the plant growth. To help plant to growth by a proper way, okay? And as you know that if it grow by a wrong way, it doesn't grow well and it cannot give us a ripening fruit. Also, organizing the development of the tissue. And what else? The formation of different parts of the plant, like formation of flowers, leaf fall, formation of fruit, and ripening of the fruits. Ripening, it's mean to be well or ready to be eaten. Ripening, it's mean what? To be ready to be eaten. The last piece of information in the importance of the auxins, they affect the function of all tissues. This is just an introduction for our lesson. The meaning of hormones, the meaning of plant hormones, and after that we need to close more from the hormonal coordination in man to learn what? Hormonal coordination in man. The question here is, how the scientists able to know the function of hormones? Well, they did some experiments. We have 2 main reasons for this question. Number 1, the studying of symptoms that resulted from enlargement or removal of one of the endocrine glands in men and animals. Let me show something here. For example, you have a disease or something that affects on the gland in your body, and by removing this part, that scientists going to start to study what's happened after removing this part or affecting this part by another disease. Okay, this is the meaning of studying of symptoms that resulted from enlargement of removal of one of the endocrine glands. And what else? Also, the study of the chemical structure that extracted of endocrine glands and their effects on different vital activities. Vital is mean biological activities, a very important activity inside your body. Hormones also characterized by what? The characteristics of hormone here, one of the most important characteristics of the hormone, which is they are organic substances. Hormones are organic substances. Some hormones are proteins and other amino acids or maybe steroids. Steroids means they comes from lipids, so they are lipid derivatives. But the question here for you, do you think that hormones are secreted by a great amount or by a less amount? Hormones are secreted in a very small amount in micrograms. After that, also we need to know the hormones, or why we need hormone inside our body. I mean the performance of the hormone or the importance and functions of the hormone. Well, there's a lot a lot of importance for the hormone functions, such as what? From the importance of hormones to keep the balance of the internal environment of the body, which is called homeostasis, and also the body growth, I mean the body to grow more and more, and also the sexual maturity, and what else? The metabolism of the food. Metabolism, it means what? It means building the monomers to be macromolecules, and also it controls the behavior and emotional and intellectual development. Okay, and this picture that shows what the growth and the importance of hormone in growing, and also the emotion as it's shown in the picture, and intellectual development. It's mean what? Growing your brain, okay, growing your way of thinking or perception in the life. After that, we need to know the glands in man and different types of glands. Hormones perform the following important functions, as we said. Number one, it keeps the balance of the internal environment of the body, which is called homeostasis, or by the meaning to adapt with the external environment. And also it helps us in the body growth, as we're going to study the effect of growth hormone, and also the sexual maturity, and what else? The metabolism of the food. Also it reacts with the behavior, emotional and intellectual development. And as we said, development or intellectual development, it's mean what? The way of thinking and how to think, and how your brain is grow up more and more. Well, after that, we need to know the different types of glands inside our body. There are 3 different types. Well, glands in man. 3 types of glands are present in man. The exocrine glands, endocrine glands, our lesson today, and also mixed gland. What does it mean, exocrine glands? It consists of a secretory part in addition to a duct. Duct is mean simply we have a group of tissue, okay, that connected with duct or a network of ducts, okay, that this duct, it has a function of carrying the secretion of the exocrine gland through the duct, but from where it's secreted from the tissue, which is called exocrine gland, but where the final result, where the final product, it will forward. The secretions, it may be poured inside a body cavity or maybe outside. Inside body cavity, such as what? Like salivary glands, the secreted saliva secretion inside your mouth cavity, and also most of the digestive juices that secreted inside your body cavity. While outside, such as what? Yes, the sweat gland outside your body, or lacrimal gland that secrete the tears outside your body. While endocrine glands, they, from its name, it's mean what? It's mean there's no ducts connected to the group of tissue, which is called endocrine glands, okay? And this secretion is called hormones. So the different 3 types of hormones, of glands: exocrine, endocrine, and mixed. Well, exocrine secretes secretions, okay? It may be inside or outside the body. While endocrine, no, it has to secrete the secretion in the bloodstream directly, and the secretion is called hormone. And the human body contains many endocrine glands, as we're going to show the figure in the next figure, and each one of them secretes one or more or different groups of hormones. While mixed glands, it contains the 2 systems, the exocrine and endocrine system. One of the most common and important example that we have, which is what? Inside your body, pancreas. Well, let me to show here some examples in exocrine glands. As we said, like salivary gland, and also the digestive glands that secrete the secretion inside your body, and stomach and small and large intestine, while the sweat glands that secrete the secretion or sweat outside your body. We have an example, as we said, in mixing gland, which is what? Pancreas. When I'm going to ask you, give reason, pancreas is considered as a mixing gland because it secretes what? Both of two secretions. It secretes insulin, which is act as endocrine gland, and also pancreatic juice. After that, we have a picture here, and this picture to show us some most important glands we're going to study inside our body. The first one, which is a pituitary gland or the master gland, and thyroid gland and parathyroid gland. And what else? The thymus gland, which is found in the children only, and after that it disintegrates. And we have also the pancreas, as we said, it's considered as well as a mixed gland. And finally, we have testes in male and ovaries in female. They are also considered as a type of endocrine gland. The pituitary gland or the master gland, we need to know the function of each gland we're going to study inside our body, location, structure, and what happened by increasing or decreasing. Well, the first one, which is what? The pituitary gland or the master gland, which locates under the brain in connection with the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, it's a part of the brain in connecting to the master gland. And it consists of two main parts, adenohypophysis part and neurohypophysis part. Okay, the adenohypophysis part, okay, which consists of anterior and middle lobe, while neurohypophysis, it consists of a posterior lobe and a part of the brain which is called infundibulum. And the infundibulum is just a stick that connects the gland to the brain. Okay? And we have here the most of the hormones that are secreted by the master gland, like growth hormone and adenocorticothyroid hormone, and also TSH and FSH and luteinizing hormone, which help the female in which is prolactin hormone, and also have some important hormone that's secreted by the master gland. The master gland or pituitary gland, again, as we said, in each gland we need to know function, structure, location, and the disorder by increasing or decreasing. Number one, function of the master gland. Well, it's considered as the master gland because of what? Why we call it as a master gland? Because it controls all functions and secretions of the most of the endocrine glands. So the master gland, which is found in the brain, it controls the other secretion of the other hormones, and also it secretes most of the important hormones inside our body. Where it locates? Its location, it locates beneath the brain and in connection with hypothalamus. Okay, what does it mean, hypothalamus? As we show it in video, hypothalamus, it's a part in connecting with the brain. Okay, this is a part that connects the master gland or pituitary gland to the brain, which is called hypothalamus. Okay, and what about the structure of the master gland? Well, it consists of two main parts. Again, consists of what? Two main parts. the first part, which is called adenohypophysis. Called what? Adenohypophysis part. It consists of the anterior and middle lobe of the gland. What about the other side, which is called neurohypophysis? Again, it's called what? Neurohypophysis part. Again, we see that consists of two parts: adenohypophysis part, anterior and middle lobe. Neurohypophysis part, which consists of posterior lobe and a part of the brain called what? Infundibulum. Again, called what? Infundibulum. This part is a part of the brain, okay? Just a stuck connecting the gland to the brain. And we have a picture here to show most of the glands that secreted by what? By the master gland or pituitary gland. Okay, let's show this picture. Well, we have here the anterior lobe and posterior lobe, okay, and the middle lobe. And the infundibulum, as we said, it's just a stick connecting the gland to the brain. Well, we're going to study the hormones that's secreted by adenohypophysis and the hormone that's secreted by neurohypophysis, such as what we have here. The GH, it refers to growth hormone, okay, that help us in growth of bones and all tissue and so on. And also we have what? ACTH, or adenocorticotrophic hormones. And also we have TSH, thyroid stimulating. Well, stimulate here, it's mean what? It's mean that the master gland, it gives a power, it gives a pushing force to stimulate the thyroid gland to secrete the secretion, as we're going to study them, thyroxine and calcitonin. And also FSH and LH, which is luteinizing hormone, one of in testis and ovary. And also prolactin, that help in the lactation, okay, and delivering of the milk after delivery of baby. And also we have some important information like regulation of urine excretion, as we're going to study. Most of important hormone that's secreted by anterior and posterior lobe of the master gland. Hypothalamus, as we said, it's a part of connecting with the brain, okay? Well, and as we said also, that hormone, it has an important function of regulating most of the vital body functions of our body, okay? And these pictures just show you that the hypothalamus and pituitary glands, they are tightly connected together, okay? So the hypothalamus is a part of the brain. Well, what else? We have some hormone that's secreted by the master gland, such as growth hormone. Well, the growth hormone, it helps us in what? In growth, our body, our tissue, our bones, okay? And also it promotes every part in your body in growing. And also this picture to learn more about the division of your body, division of the cell. And also it helps us in growing our tissue in proper way, and any increase or decrease inside it, it causes what? It causes disorder. And also we have a prolactin hormone, which released from anterior parts of the pituitary gland, and that stimulates milk production after delivery of the baby. And this is the meaning of prolactin. Pro, it's mean for, and lactins mean the milk. So we call it prolactin. It helps the mom for delivering and production of the brain. And here is just an extra information for you. The suckling by baby that causes stimulating prolactin hormone, okay, prolactin to secreted from the or luteinizing hormone to secrete the milk. And also maturity or fertility as a result of birth control. Finally, I hope you get the differentiate between the animal hormones and the plant hormones or the auxins. I need you to study hard and see you in the next time and do your over best.